So now we're going to talk about area of lots of different things. And I want you to understand we're going to be using this in lots of different places, but one of the reasons we want to do it right now is we want to make sure that you're ready for that map test and that you don't have to worry or stress about it. So we're going to be doing notes on this page right here, but first I want you to take out a piece of paper that looks like this. It's called the Missouri Assessment Program and this is a reference sheet, and this is for grades 6 through 8. Now the reason this page is important is because you will get a blank one of these. You will get one of these when you take the test. You get to have it and use it, but it's not useful unless you know what's going on. So I want you to move down to this part where it says area. Okay, that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to talk about a triangle, a rectangle, a parallelogram, a square, a circle, a trapezoid. We're even going to talk about circumference, and I know we've done circumference before, so that should be a review. But these are just formulas, and these are formulas that we're going to let you have, and you just need to know how to use them. These formulas are also out on the internet, so they're easily accessible. If you ever forget it, you can always Google it and just find the area of a rectangle or of a parallelogram. So let's just look at these for just a second. The A stands for area. Okay, and today we're going to be going through what the L and the W or the B and the H stand for, an S and R. An area of a circle you already know. This one we've already done. So this is pi r squared. So R, remember, is radius. Okay, so if you're given the diameter, okay, remember if you want to find the diameter, what am I going to do to the radius? We know that the diameter is 2 times the radius. Okay, the diameter is equal to 2 times the radius. So if they give me the radius, yay. If not, I have to use the diameter is 2 times the radius. And I want to talk about circumference in that same way. So down here, where it gives me the diameter, well, if I have the diameter, I just plug it in. Yay. D is for diameter. Diameter. Sorry. Oh my gosh. But what if they don't give me the diameter? Well, if they give me the radius, okay, I'm going to take the radius times 2 to get the diameter. So up here, I should have said, how can you find the radius? The radius is that you take the diameter divided by 2. Okay, so if I have the radius on area, yay, that's what I want. But if I don't, I have to take the diameter divided by 2. And for circumference, if I have the diameter, yay, but if not, I can take the radius times 2 to get the diameter. And you're going to have that on your homework, and I just wanted to refresh your memory. So the main thing that we're going to work on today and for the next couple weeks is how to use a formula. So let's go back to today's notes. Now today we're going to talk about the area of the parallelogram, the triangle, and the compound figure. But what I want to actually start with is the area of a rectangle. The way that we write the area of the rectangle, and you'll see that right here, whoops, hit the wrong thing. Area of a rectangle is length times width. Area of a rectangle is also base times height. You can do it either way, and you can think of it either way. So if I look at a rectangle, this a lot of times would be my width right here. We would call this the width, and we would call this the length. Okay, well, we can also call this is also the base, and this is also the height. Okay, and it really doesn't matter which one you call it. So length times width, whoops, you can't combine the two though, or base times height is what that means. You're going to multiply these two together. And area you're going to multiply. Okay, with area you're going to multiply. So that's one of the big things you want to remember. Okay, so now then, that's what you're already supposed to know. So if I were going to find the area of this, whoops, area, I'm going to take 15 times 35. And I'm going to find that answer. And this is where you just pull out your calculator. And yes, you get to use your calculator. Pull out your calculator and take 15 times 35. But take the time to write this down. Now, the other thing you have to keep in mind with area is that if I were to find the area, it's always going to be square units. So it's going to be square inches or square centimeters or square whatever. And here's how you remember that. Area, think about if I were going to take a rug or a floor and I were going to fill it up with Post-it notes, and they're all square Post-it notes. And I would fill it all the way up. So it takes squares to fill it up. That's the reason area, well, not that's the reason, but that's what we're looking at. We're going to find out how many squares would take to fill this whole thing up. So we always want to put for our answer here 525 centimeters squared. Or you can write it as 525 square centimeters. So you can use a little exponent or use square centimeters. Both are right. Okay, now here's the really cool thing. To find the area of a parallelogram, I again just take base times height. But what you need to understand is the height has to be what we call perpendicular. See this little box down here? Height is perpendicular to the base. I could have also drawn the height, so let's redraw this parallelogram if we wanted to. I could have drawn it like this. Not such a great drawing. But this right here could also, my height can be this way. My height can be this way. So I can also draw height. It does not have to go perpendicular to where I am. It just has to go perpendicular to the base. Wow, I did not do that one well. Okay, so here we go. Perpendicular this way. There we go. So as long as it hits it, and when we talk about perpendicular, think about the floor and the ceiling in the room that you're in now. It's going to be perpendicular. It's going to hit and form a 90-degree angle. So this is a 90-degree angle, a right angle. Okay, so look for that. So here we go. And the other big clue, let me just tell you, a lot of times it's just this dashed line. See this dashed line? That's what a lot of times I use for height. Okay, so there's our little secret. So what we want to do now is we want to find the area of this parallelogram. And they're trying to be tricky right here. Because what they're doing is they're giving you this height right here. It's not a height, it's a length. That's the length of this side. That doesn't do anything for us. So don't be fooled. We have to use the height, this height right here, and this base. This is just an extra number. So always write down the formula so you get used to it. It's base times height. Now what's my base? 8.3. What's my height? 11.2. Pull out your calculator. And we're going to take 8.3 times 11.2, and we get 6 and meters squared. Okay, we always want to label it when we're finding area. Okay, look at B. Now B does a fun thing. So instead of putting the height right here, they for some reason didn't do that. They're showing you that it doesn't matter where the height is. This height here is the same as this height here. Okay, they're both 3.9. It doesn't matter if it's outside the parallelogram or inside. It does not matter. So I'm still going to take area is equal to base times height. So the base is 9.6. The height is 3.9. This is a let's see if we can trick you number. Just ignore it and take 9.6 times 3.9. And we're going to get 37.44. And what do I want to put on there? The label, that's right. So this would be feet, and because it's area, it's feet squared. Okay, so we're going to try all these. What I'd like you to do right now is pause yours and try these, and I'm going to try them too, and then it will come back and compare. So pause yours, try these two right now, go. Okay, so let's look at this first one. On this first one, notice it gives you these two numbers here. The way that I know it's the base is the line that's perpendicular comes up and hits it. See how nothing is hitting this? That's just kind of sitting over there. So that's the reason my base is 9.7 and my height is the 5.8. So I get 56.26 feet squared. Now, and this one's pretty obvious. Here's my base. Here's my height. So I'm just going to multiply. And what did I forget to do here? That's right. I have to label it. So this is going to be meters squared. Okay, good. So that's parallelograms. And here's some more we can try. Oh, no, look what we get to do here. It says for each figure, find the length of the base or the length of the height. So what they're doing is we have to do reverse. We have to take the formula for each one of these and then plug it in. And when you get to a test, read it carefully and then go, hey, wait a second. I know I'm using area, so write that down. I'm going to use area base times height. Well, what do I know? And plug that in. I know the area. 94.62, but write down the formula first. I know the height is 11.4. Now look at this. We have an equation. And what do we see here? How is this connected? Multiplication, that's right. So if I'm connected by multiplication, I'm going to divide to get them apart. Whoops, sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to divide to get them apart. So I'm going to divide by 11.4. So 94.62 divided by 11.4 gives me 8.3. And this is just the base. This is the base, is what I just found here. That's this right here. So the base is equal to, whoops, I did that wrong, didn't I? I showed my work wrong. So the base is equal to 8.3. What is my answer then? 8.3 meters, because it's just a length, so it's not going to be squared. Okay, so look at, here we go. And again, when you get to a test, write down, it's talking about area, write down the formula. You know it's a parallelogram, write it down. Then plug in what you know. Here's my area, 120.12 is equal to my base of 9.1. Yeah, they don't even have a height. Right here, I need to know that height. So, we're going to find the height. Okay, connected by multiplication, so we're going to divide to get them apart. Use your calculator. And yes, you do get to have a calculator for the test. Now, I got 13.209. I'm going to check my work just to make sure. 120.12 divided by 9.1. Yeah, someplace I hit the wrong button. I didn't think it was going to come out to be like that. 13. I did it again. Look, H is on this side. These drop out. So I have H is equal to 13.2, which would be 13.2. What am I finding here? I'm dealing with a feet. You can't read that. Feet. Okay, that's my answer. Good. Try this one. Go. So we write down the formula. We plug in what we know. This time we had a height. Okay, this time we have the height, and it's the big hint is that 90-degree angle right there. My base, that's what we had to find. We found out that it was 3.8 yards. Good. Here's some more. Let's practice those because these are always good. Let's pause ours right now and do them. Ready, go. So again, write down the formula first, and then you're going to plug in what do you know, then solve for the other one. Okay, they're going to give you the area every time. You're going to have to find out, are you solving for a base or a height, and then solve for that one. Okay, go. Actually do it. Pause yours and do them. Go. So let's check your work. On the first one, we had to find the height. This is what we didn't know right here. We had to find a height. So we had to divide by 7.6. We got 4.4. Make sure you label. Okay, and this is going to tell you what it is. Centimeters squared means that that's the area. But if I want a length, it's just centimeters. Here we're going to take, and we knew the height. We divide it, we got 9.5. And on number 6, we did not have a height. Right up here, we did not have this height. So we had to take the area, divide it by 7.3, and we got 6.6. And again, make sure that you label. Make sure that you label. Good. Okay. Now we're going to go into triangles. And the really cool thing is that the area of a triangle is half that of a square. So, and here's how you can kind of see that. Look down here at this picture. Okay, look down here. If this were a rectangle, okay, this would be, I would be finding this whole area right here. And I would multiply base times height, or length times width, whatever you want to call it. And when I do that, I would find the area of the entire rectangle. But as you can see in this situation, it's only half that I want to find. I just want to find the triangle. So that's not the whole reason, but you can see why that works, is that you want to find the area. Now, what they actually want us to do on this one is they want us to count the squares. And we'll come back to, so while we're on, let's just finish it. So we're going to find the area of the rectangle, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my base is 5. My height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, because I'm finding this side right here. How many of these segments do I have? And I have 8. So I'm going to find the area of the rectangle would be 5 times 8. But I only want the triangle. So I'm going to take half of all of that. And I'll tell you right now what I like to do is I like to take half when I'm all done. That's because I didn't grow up with a cool calculator like you guys have. So I'm going to take 5 times 8, which is 40. 40 times 1/2 is 20. Okay, now this one is in squares. We just don't know if it's square meters or square units, so we just put units squared if we don't know what it is, but we always want to label it. Okay, so again, what we're using is area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Now we can also write that as base times height divided by 2, which is sometimes nice also, and is what I really did here. I multiplied the base times height and then I divided by 2. Okay, now remember our height is just like it was in the parallelogram. It's going to be perpendicular to the base. Okay, so now on this one, oh, they went right into the tricky ones. They say find the height. So let's write down our formula. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. So we're going to plug in what we know. When you ever get to a shape, plug in what you have. Write down the formula and plug it in. So we know the area is 42. We have 1/2, we have the base, we have the height. Now for me personally, I like to clean up what I can on one side. So see how I can multiply these two? What's 1/2 of 14? Exactly, 7h. And then I'm going to divide by 7. Now I could have done that all in one thing, but for me, it's lots easier if I can just do little parts at a time. So what does that mean? That means that the height is 6 meters. That is my height. Okay, good. It says find the area of this rectangle. So what it wants you to do is count what is the base. So the base is 5. What is my height? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and it's a triangle. So I'm going to use area is equal to 1/2 base times height. So 1/2, 5 times 4. And this is actually using associative property we talked about in the last unit. I can multiply these in whatever order I want to. Well, it's easier if I multiply these two first because I don't want to take 1/2 of 5. Or I could have actually taken 1/2 of 4, gotten 2 and taken it times 5. Or I can take 5 times 4, get 20. Half of that is 10. No matter how I do it, I'm going to get 10. Now again, it does not tell me what this is, centimeters or inches, so I'm just going to put units squared. Okay. Oh, number 2, straightforward problem. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Now on this one, this is your height right here, because do you see how it comes perpendicular? Or if you turned it the other way, this would be your height. But as long as they're both perpendicular, it doesn't matter. We're going to multiply. And again, order doesn't matter with multiplication. So I'm going to plug in what I know. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. I could cancel out the 2's. I like to just do this. 5 times 2 is 10. 1/2 of 10 is 5. So this is 5 feet squared. That is my area. Okay. Number 3, very similar to what we saw on the, notice my height is out here. Okay, because this is my base. This one, it does matter. It won't matter when we multiply, but this is your height. This is your height. This is your base. So formula, 1/2 base times height. The other reason I encourage you to write it down is then it just sticks in your head a little better. So I have 1/2 times 12 3/4 times 14 1/2. Now, honestly, if I were doing this problem, because I didn't have the cool calculator you guys have, I would actually go 1/2 times 12.75 and 14.5. You have a cool calculator, you can just enter these numbers in right here. You can enter these numbers in right here. The 12 3/4 and the 14 1/2. You can just enter that into your calculator because you have a cool calculator. But just multiply all of that. Ready? Go. I have to get my calculator. I'm getting a weird number, so I'm going to do it twice. Yeah. I got 92.4375. And of course, inches squared. Barely got it on. Okay. And remember 1/2? 1/2 is equal to 0.5. So if you have decimals. Good. Okay. Number 4. So here we go. We're going to find the area. No, we have to find the missing dimension. Well, I'm assuming we're talking about triangles. Those directions should have been a little better. We're going to assume they're talking about triangles. So it should say of a triangle. So that's what this should have said here. Of a triangle. We will make sure that it's clearer on other ones. So write down the formula. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. The base we don't have. The height is 12. So we're just plugging, and the area is 24. Now I'm going to tell you right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply these two, because I can do that in my head. You can too. What is 1/2 of 12? Exactly 6. This is a B, that's 6B. Bad handwriting, watch out. Okay, now I have multiplication, so what am I going to do? That's right, I'm going to divide. But I can multiply in any order. So 4 is equal to B. So my answer, make sure you label it, 4 inches. Okay, see how I did that? Okay, And with calculators, you can always multiply these two and then just put it as a decimal. And I think that might happen here. Let's see. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. So what do I know? I know my area, 37.5. I know my base, and I have my height. And so this is what I was talking about. You can still multiply these, and you're going to get a decimal. That's okay. 37.5, half of 15 is 7.5. Divide both sides by 7.5. Oops, lost my calculator. 37.5, divide it by 7.5, and we get 5. Wow, I'm going to double check that and make sure I did it right, because that was too slick. 5. Okay, so my answer is 5. Label it meters. Good. We're going to stop there for now. I'll come back to compound. The next page of your notes, I'll come back to that in another video. Thank you so much. I hope this helped with area. So you have an assignment right here. It looks like this. Make sure that you check with your teachers as far as what is due. And I believe they say this one is due on the 20th. And you're going to go through area of triangles and parallelograms, okay, and all kinds of area things. Sometimes, of course, now here you're going to find the machine measure. Okay, and then it goes into compound shapes, which we haven't done yet. I'll do that in the next video. And then we have circumference. We already talked about this. So here I have a diameter. Yay, no problem. But here I have the radius. Remember that diameter is equal to 2 times the radius. So if I have the radius, I'm going to multiply it by 2. Here we're finding area, and it's talking about you have to have the radius. But I don't have a radius here. So if I need to find the radius, I'm going to take the diameter divided by 2. Good. Okay, there you go. Work on that. If you have questions, you know where to find us. Thanks.